Hey friends, I am so excited that Disneyland is back open. What a monumental day. I did not see this happening. Forgive me for putting my face down on my phone because I'm keeping an eye on people just are bombarding me with messages everywhere. Do me a favor if you're watching this live and you can hear me and everything's working, first person that shows up, just do me a favor and leave everything sounds good in the chat. I don't have a way to check this once I get going. So I actually had people that were reaching out to me and they were saying, do you think it will happen? Do you think it will happen? Do you think Disneyland will open up? Because this rumor was starting to circulate. It was starting to pick up some speed. And I just thought, there's no way that we're going to open as quickly as Florida. Oh, thank you guys so much for letting me know that I'm there. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you guys are here with me. Okay, awesome. We back. Thank you, Tony Mendez. So people kept saying, this rumor was circulating. I'm a bit of an insider. I know lots of people that are part of things. And I kept thinking, they gave us such a heads up about Orlando. And Florida's a little bit faster and looser than California is. So I just kept thinking, there's no way that this is going to happen. Because with Florida, let's retrace our steps. Because with Disney, it's always about studying the math of the company and how they think. We had a big announcement that Disney Springs, we saw that was happening. And then eventually we found out that July 10th was going to be when Disney World was going to open up with some cast member previews. But to get our park, to get our downtown Disney open up the day before, July 9th. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that this is real? Disney, if this is a prank, now's not the time. Now's not the time. People are too vulnerable. I can't deal with crazy president, crazy pandemic, prejudice, and this at the same time. Like, I need you to be honest with us that this is going to happen. Now, there are some caveats, and we'll work through those in today's live stream. But this is insane. I'm so excited to see all these names back in the live stream. We haven't got to do this for a while. Oh man. Well, the bad news is a Disneyland for Designers podcast. Now, that's going to be a big question mark. How does that keep going? Jamie, I'll tell you what you missed. Today, we just got an announcement that the park will be opening back up. So let's break this down. Let's look at this. Okay. July 9th is going to be when we get the downtown district will open back up. Okay. So we're going to get downtown Disney's going to open up first. Now that's not a big surprise because that's exactly what they did over in Asia. That's what they're doing over in Florida. They open up the shopping district first as sort of a soft test of getting their staff up to speed, figuring out what the new normal is. So we're going to get downtown Disney on July 9th. Now, July 17th. That's a very, very, very important Disneyland date. That is the 65th anniversary of the park. So if you ever wondered what it was like to go to Disneyland on opening day on July 17th, now granted it was 1955, but you can get that feeling again because for the first time ever, after it will have been closed 100 days, if you're lucky enough to get in on that day, you can rush through the gate and you can be one of the first people to be there. Now there's so many asterisks applied to this. But that's what we're looking at. So let's say that even if you and I, we don't get in on the first day, somebody will, right? And yeah, of course we would hope for it to be us. But just knowing that somebody is in the park enjoying it and that the magic is back, that makes all of this feel a little bit better, right? A little bit better. And then we're going to get the Grand California Hotel and Spa will be back on July 23rd. So that basically means July 17th to the 23rd, without the hotels being open, that's going to be a real locals time. And also California Adventure will be opening up at that same time too. So this is such exciting news. I want to see over in the chat, like, what are you thinking? How soon are you going to get there? I'm going to try to get there on day one. I read the press release, and the press release says that you will have to get a reservation to get in. And this includes past members such as myself. And this is going to get really, really interesting because I have the pass that allows me entrance into the park every single day of the year. But if you have to get a reservation, then that's going to void the deal that I have with Disney. Now, I'm not going to complain about this because, hey, nobody saw this coming. Nobody was expecting any of this to happen to us. But it will be interesting to see how they navigate that. There was something over there that said they won't be selling any new passes. Like all passes are suspended. I don't know if that means that we still get in. Like it's still a very, very loose information. But these are just the proposed dates of what's going to be going on. Ryan brings up an excellent point over in the chat. Rise of the Resistance pass guaranteed. Ryan, if they open up Rise of the Resistance, right? Like that's a big weird thing now too. Will they open up rides like that are, strictly indoors? Like the social distancing is going to be serious. I mean, the submarines are done. Those for sure aren't opening on day one or maybe ever again. But this is going to be really, really interesting to see how this all plays out. The reservation system is going to probably be a lot like Rise of the Resistance, as Ryan's bringing up such an excellent point talking about that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this comes together. Let's see here. Looking over here at the live chat to see what people are saying. I'm sure we'll be for APs only, so I'm thinking I'll be iced out for a while. Tony Mendez. Okay, so let's think about that. They're going to have to try to find a way to make annual pass holders happy. They won't have all the hotels open because that's a whole other thing for, doing housing for people during COVID-19. So yeah, there might just be an annual pass moment. I know that in World, they've announced that they would be doing cast member previews. And hey, I know I don't have the button, but if there's a cast member out there and you want to hook somebody up, I would think that I have done a lot as a Disney fan during the pandemic to show my fandemic attitude that I am worthy of a cast member preview. So, hey, if anybody wants to hook a brother up, here I am. But they also said that for World, they will be doing a AP preview, just sort of letting the dedicated folks in first. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going on. Okay, so annual passes, could they be gone forever? I don't think so, because it's so much revenue and it's so much of how the California park works. So I think that'll just be on pause for a minute. David Gallo's talking about amount of people on a cart for a ride system, and there's a lot of speculation that it would be like every other row or nobody sitting next to each other. But then it gets into a weird situation of, me and my wife are sheltered in place together. So do they let parties stay together, or is it just straight across the rules like radiator racers? Somebody in the driver's seat, somebody in the passenger seat, same in the back, nobody rides in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this comes together. Let me see here. The capacity limit is going to be very, very interesting to see how all of that works out. But I think that if we know anything about Disney, they will have a plan to try to make as most people as possible happy. And if you look at the way that they rolled out Rise of the Resistance, right? Let's back up. If you look at the way that they rolled out Star Wars Galaxy's Edge just 1 year ago, that reservation system of you could get into Galaxy's Edge 4 different times a day. You could get a party of 6 on your RSVP. That worked out really, really well. It was incredibly fair. They didn't upcharge. They knew the magnitude of the moment, and they really, really played it well. So let's hope that we're looking at a situation that's similar to that. And I will think that will be the case. Tony Mendez brings up restaurants. Now, restaurants are open in Southern California, but with social distancing hard in play. So yeah, you're probably looking at like a 30% capacity of most of the indoor restaurants. But one of the great things about our park is it relies on Southern California's amazing weather. So we have patio spots galore. Now, something like the Blue Bayou, that's going to be a hard place to get into if it's open. But if you look at other places in New Orleans Square, like the Riverbell Terrace, it's got outdoor seating for days that even on a busy day, it could be pretty open or pretty loose. So I would expect that, Plaza Inn, Riverbell Terrace, places like that should really be humming where people are going to be eating. Let's see here. Jonathan says, excited about, but the borders are looking like they will still be closed. Oh, yeah. Jonathan. Our neighbors to the north and south, our Canadian neighbors, our Mexican brothers and sisters, our friends that live over in Europe, or our friends that live in Australia. Yeah, I mean, America is on lockdown mode. So, yeah, that is wow. Time to go to Magic Mountain or Wally World, right? If you're Canadian, that's going to be crazy. I don't believe that there'll be any parades. Tony Mendez. Tony asked, will there be parades? I doubt there will be parades. I doubt there will be fireworks in this opening. I really believe that you're looking at limited capacity. You're looking at some attractions just won't be open, and you're looking at restaurants that will be, really limiting how many people are there. And even the stores, there could be a limit on how many people go into the stores and, spots on the ground. And it's really going to mean a lot for people to have to pay attention, right? Pay attention to what the new normal is, where you're supposed to be. They did announce that there would be what do they call it? A social squad. And the social squad would be probably the guest relations cast members, the plaid vests, the Disneyland elite, the plaid berets. And the social squad will probably be going around and using the positivity of Disneyland, helping people out with their social distancing. Like, oh, hey, you're wearing your mask great, or I love your Mickey Mouse mask. Just those type of things, just to sort of, I think, maybe keep people from feeling stupid for following the rules, or to just remind people, why we're doing things. Because it's not the Disney way to say you're doing it wrong. It's the Disney way to say you're doing it right. Let us celebrate you for that. So who knows? Maybe if I'm a good boy and I wear my mask, finally get that pin. That would be nice. Ryan says he would imagine that APs will continue on in the future. I totally agree with you, Ryan. More revenue and services, merchandise and food. APs like us spend frequently. I mean, I go to the park once a week. And even though once a week, I'm probably not spending as much as the guy that's, bringing in his family of 4 from, Illinois, I am still a pretty consistent spender at the park. So I just think that we'll be looking at things kind of on pause, or all the pieces sort of shuffled around until we figure out what this new normal is. Jonathan says he can't wait to see me there, and he's happy to hear the news. Much love, friend of the North. Well, I can't wait to see everybody there. And my opening day plan is this. Let's say that I get in on the actual opening day. I will be masked up. I'll try to get there at open. Let's just assume that you can go a whole day, okay? Because there could be a thing where you're only allowed in the park for sections of time. They might take a 20-hour operational day and divide it up into 3 slots of like 8 hours, where there's just minimal overlapping. Kind of like what they did with the Galaxy's Edge opening, where you got a time slot and you were allowed in there, but your first hour you were still sharing it with the first group, and then your second hour you could see the new folks rushing in, which kind of let you know, like, hey, time to wrap it up. Your 4 hours in the Galaxy's Edge are done. So they could divide the day up into partitions or portions, which that would give 3 times as many potential people at the park, which would be great to get more people out and to give more people the opportunity. But that also feels like, even though we would be spread out, that's 3 times the containment that's coming in. So can't believe we have to think that way when we think about Disneyland. But we'll definitely be interesting to see where things go, or how they all roll out. So my plan would be to go there and go whatever time they'll let me. Open to close, my third slot, my half slot. I would love to be there as soon as I can, but I don't think I'm going to ride any rides. I just don't. I've rode them all. I know them all like the back of my hand, and I just think, 1, give that space up to somebody else, and 2, I just want to be in the ambiance. I just want to hear the music, I want to sit on a bench. I want to smell the smells. I want to see people happy, but happiness is going to be weird when you can't see the face. You know, like, you did this to me at my height and covered in tattoos. I look like a murderer. I need this to say, hey, I know I look like a Hell's Angel, but I'm a nice guy. So that's going to be weird, roll in like that the whole time. That's going to be very, very weird. Jamie Ramirez says, private tours. Do they come back after this? What about celebrity visits? All right, well, I would say this. Why would you do a private tour right now? The private tour gives you access to going through the park in a VIP status, right? Where you can not have to worry about waiting in long lines. But if we have a very small amount of the population there, why would you want to spend that kind of money when there's not those type of crowds? So that sort of elite type thing would sort of be wiped out a little bit, don't you think? If we're at a moment to where the park's just not that crowded. So I would think that would be out of the way. Celebrity visits, I mean, I'm sure there's celebrities that want to get in there just like us. It'd actually be a good time for a celebrity to go, because with half your face covered, I don't know that you're Charlize Theron or whoever that you might be. Like if Bradley Cooper, the voice of Rocket, wants to go to California Adventure to see the raccoon version of himself play with a Walkman, this would be the best time for Bradley Cooper to ever do that. And he could save 5 G's because he could go in on the same ticket as you and I go on. So I think it'll be kind of different for a while. But I also think that the people that do that job, who are really, really good at customer relations. And if you remember when Rise of the Resistance first opened up earlier this year, there were a lot of people that were really mad that, they couldn't get in. And you saw people try to strong arm their way on the ride where, the customer's always right mentality. And the plaid vest folks, the plaid berets, they really did an excellent job of managing people's expectations, de-escalating situations, talking people down. So I have a feeling a lot of those tour guides will be used to sort of spread that positivity and keep people in the right mindset. And, how does Disneyland handle a guest that just says, I'm not wearing the mask. I don't want to, you can't make me. I would hope that people would not do that there, and they would, appreciate it as the place that it is. But we live in wild times. Anything and everything's possible right now. So who knows? Game Life says, wonder if I buy a ticket from a grocery store, if I can use that to get in on opening day. Game Life, here's the thing. Reservation system. Now, they haven't fully explained to us how this works, but it's a reservation system. So I'm assuming that I'll be able to use my pass, that I won't have to buy a ticket. Don't think that would stop me if I had to buy a ticket for the day. I'm assuming that if you have a pass, you'll still be able to honor your pass. And if you've already pre-purchased a ticket, I'm assuming that will still work. But going back to what they did with Galaxy's Edge, I think you will still have to be on that reservation list. So I believe you will have to get something that they can scan in addition, probably something on the Disney app or something that you can print out that says that you have an RSVP for, for Galaxy's Edge. They did party of 6. So you got one reservation, you could bring 5 other people with you. They started that out where you had to put everybody's full name on there, but then as it went on, they got loose. And if you just had a reservation, you could just show up with 5 other people, and it didn't have to be the people that you registered because, people's lives change. So shout out to my boy Alex, who got me and my bud Louie into the park on those premieres. He's like, hey, I got an extra spot. My family has 2 open because we're a family of 4. Would you like to go? And the answer was yes. Yes, I do want to go. Jamie says, time slots to visit is an interesting thought. Yeah, I've smarter people than me have sort of floated this out into the ether there. And I thought about it, and I'm like, Disneyland is so good with those evening special ticket events, like, Oogie Boogie's Halloween Bash, or, I just thought of this. If they're opening, this is real. This is a real reaction. Star Wars Night's a go. Star Wars Night is a go. I have a ticket for the Star Wars night, the Star Wars party that will be taking place at Batu when the Celebration weirdos were going to be in town. Respect the Celebration. I mean, but hey, if you love Starbucks and Star Wars that much, I mean, you're a weirdo and I'm one of you. I thought for sure that wouldn't happen. And I have 2 tickets. I thought I was going to get that canceled. I didn't think that the Star Wars, oh. Yes. Oh, anyway, back to our conversation here after that little brain fart celebration. They do such a good job trying to compose myself. They do such a good job on, bringing people in and then shifting out for those special event ticket nights. So they have the capability of doing it. They know how to do it. They know how to use masking tape like nobody in the world. So there we go. I think that will work. Oswaldo says social distancing meetup. Dude, Disneyland for Designers has been keeping the torch alive. I've been taking people to the park each and every Wednesday since the park is closed. It is my goal that once we get back to normal to meet up with Disneyland for Designers listeners on a real Wednesday. Like, hey, we did this virtually. Let's go to the park together. Let's do a tour together. I was also waiting for the park to reopen and to go out and shoot some footage to do a live tour here where, people that can't make it out could get to see what was going on and I could do a scheduled live tour. Like I have content plans, baby. I love to share the magic. I love sharing it. It's too good not to share. So Oz, get a babysitter for that cute little baby that you had because we need to rip some Disneyland. All right, let's see here. Who else is talking? Some music playing. That would be nice. But would I get copy strike? Who cares? Let me see if I can get some music going for you guys. I mean, that's an excellent point. Actually, let me just chill out for a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me see if I can get a little music going. I'm going to try to play some music and you tell me if you guys can hear it or not. See how fast I can find stuff on my computer. That's the real challenge here. Hang tight. I have to say that Apple's search is just not good. Not good. Hold on here. I think I found what I'm looking for, but I think I also lost it because of how bad the search is. Sorry if I'm killing the feed right here. Come on. Okay. I'm going to try to play this for you guys. Tell me if you can hear this or not. I think that's coming through. If you can't hear it, then I look real dumb. Disneyland is open. Yes, it's gonna open soon. And I'm gonna see each of you there. All right, so back to what we're talking about. You can hear it? Yes, JB can hear it. We're killing it tonight. Okay, so back to the topic at hand. Let's talk about what this all means for us, right? So it's going to be different for a while. We can't just go when we want to go, but it's going to be there. And for Californians, it's going to be kind of ours for a while because people aren't looking to get on flights. People aren't looking to stay in hotels. Like, this is going to be crazy. Disneyland has announced when it's going to be open, They wouldn't just open it random one day. That would blow us away. It's going to be back open July 17th, but what we're talking about is how this is going to work, because you have to get a reservation to get into it. So, interesting times. Love this little song. So we're going to have the park back open, and it's going to be amazing. And for them to really say we're opening back up on July 17th, on the 65th anniversary of the park, oh man, that is going to be amazing. And like Jamie's saying over in our live feed, it's going to be a Disneyland with what, 20% of the normal audience there, maybe 30%. So if sold out is believed to be 55, 60,000 people, you could be looking at doing the park with 20,000 people. So it will probably feel a lot like those ticketed events. And if you've ever done, 80s night, or I've done Halloween a couple of times, they're so worth it because of getting the park that intimate is amazing. Oh, I am so pumped. The best thing about this is that it just like randomly happened, right? Like I had people DM me and like, what do you think the chance these rumors are real? I said 1%. Because it just seemed so crazy that they would get the park back together this fast when they've announced Florida for so much longer. I didn't think that it would be that way, but man, oh man, it is happening. Yeah, it's going to be so cool, but it's going to be weird because if you've worn a mask into a store or worn a mask, when you're walking your dog, sorry about that sound, it's fatiguing, and to have to wear a mask for hours and hours because it will be required, and you'll also have to get your temperature read. It's going to be a lot to handle. I know that in World, they said that they would have like zones where you could go and get a relief and take your mask off, where everybody would be, spread far out, because you gotta catch your breath. So it'll be interesting to see what that's like. Oh yeah, I mean they've been working on this for a very, very long time. I actually think the thing that probably made this move up so fast is the amount of protesting and just seeing, streets and streets full of people and seeing lots of people out everywhere. Like, Memorial Day weekend, people were just out living their life, and there's just been people out everywhere. And I understand the severity and the reasons why, and I'm not even thinking about comparing that to this. But if you owned a business and you were making zero revenue and you started to see so many people that were willing to go out of their homes and do various things, you'd say, well, if there's people willing to go out, we got to get back to work at some time. And, the curve has flattened for the moment. Will be interesting to see if it stays there with so many people out and about. But I really think that the activity and the pressure that the politicians have felt have sped this up, because there were a lot of people on the inside that didn't think that we would see the park reopen possibly in 2020. They were already thinking that Christmas was long gone. And I pray that it won't reclose. But I think right now, as what we've all seen the last 10 weeks and how it's altered our entire look at how we live our lives, everything's possible right now. So let's enjoy this moment and hope that there's many more good moments to come. All right. Tony Mendez says, let's talk Avengers Campus. Chances it will open not long after opening, or will they save it? Ooh, Tony, that is a good point. Let's think about this. Let's break this down. If they open Avengers Campus, first off, it still isn't complete. There's still construction needs to be done. Web Slingers is done. Web Slingers is like, you could go ride that right now if you could get into the park. So the construction of it's not done. But would they wait till the reservation system was over? Because is it fair to open a new land when you've only got 30% of the audience there? I would predict that they would probably let things normalize and open Avengers Campus say in the fall when things feel like they kind of have a grip on what the new normal is, when people can book flights and when the hotels are all going. So yeah, I would think that would get pushed out because it would seem weird to do a release like that when not everybody can enjoy it. I think that's be the way that it would go. Chelsea says, Bricky, do you think you'll feel comfortable going back right away, or do you think you'll hold out a bit? Chelsea, I'm in there day one. And I'll tell you why. I'm not going to ride rides. I'm not going to dine indoors. I'm going to go to Disneyland and I'm going to walk the pass. I'm going to walk the trails. I'm going to sit on a bench. I'm going to listen to this music. I'm going to dance ragtime style. I'm in day one, Chelsea, but with a very different plan. Like I'm not going in there and be like, oh, I gotta get into Matterhorn or like Haunted Mansion, like a full indoor attraction. I'm going there to soak in the ambiance. If they had a ticket right now where you could go in, like you can get into Disneyland, it's $200, but none of the rides are open, and you can only get food from the carts. Like, sign me up. I just want to be in there. So yes, Chelsea, I will be there day one if I can get a reservation, because it will be reservation only in the beginning. But I'm going to do it in a very different way. And that's because I have the experience of being there over 500 times, riding everything more times than I could count. So it's not so crucial that if I go there, I'm like, if I don't get on the Haunted Mansion, I'm ruined. I just want to be in the park. I just want to be around happy thoughts. I just want to see the world be cheerful and beautiful in a place where everybody lets all the BS go for an afternoon. That's the ride that I want to ride the most. 2 rides, though, Chelsea, that I will ride. I will ride a social distance Disneyland Railroad several times. I might just do that for like 4 hours. Just going around and around. This is me on the train. Or another one that I would ride. Ryan said he'd pay $500. Ryan, I'll go $1,000. I'll go with G to go in there, no rides, just to walk around. I'll go with G. All right, I'll go $2,000. But that's all I got. Mark Twain. I will ride the Mark Twain. Hell yeah. Mark Twain, day one, on the top level, waving, going through the Indian village, checking out all the different rock work. Just hearing that. I'm all about it. I'll be there. Let me see here. What else are we talking about? Because I just want to hang out and talk to you guys. The old smoking areas, the new mask relief zones. You think behind Grizzly Peak, what I used to refer to as the Trail of Tears, where everybody used to sit there? You think that area will now be where you can just like, oh, I gotta take this mask off. I love that. I love that we've gone from smoking in an area to breathing in an area. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, that is so funny. Ryan says, does anyone know if there's been secret construction? Remember, Disneyland announced on the park blog that Avengers Campus was opening 7/19, and that was after the parks closed. Actually, they threw that announcement out. They threw the press release out for the release of Avengers Campus on they threw everything at us on a Monday or Tuesday, and the park would end up closing either that weekend or the next weekend. They wanted to get ahead of coronavirus. They wanted to get that story circulating. A very, very good friend of mine works for construction at Disneyland, and none of the big projects have been a go as far as I'm aware of, and as far as it's been told to me. So I'm pretty sure that if anything's been happening, it's been very minimal. But I don't think they've been doing hardcore construction right now because of all this going on, and a lot of things have been put on pause. Oswaldo says turkey leg for days. So you're just going to put it in your mask and just walk around with the bone sticking out of your turkey mask? That will be sick. That is such a look. Such a look. Hey, Sonny and Reese, how are you doing? So nice to see you again. The Trampian. Oh! I just thought of something else. I'll get to ride the tram now on the 1-year anniversary. Because I was so afraid that I wouldn't get to celebrate. But oh, I'll be back on the tram, no doubt about it. That's going to be amazing. Scary thing is, Disney knows they can charge this. Oh, talking about charging. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that, Ryan. Disney could do something crazy right now. Oh, you missed the magic. You want to get back. The Magic Mental Health Pass, $500. They're not going to do that. The criticism that they would take and the loss of sort of cultural leadership that they would lose would not be worth the minimal amount of upcharging that they could make. I think if we look at how they rolled out the Galaxy's Edge, they were beyond fair with how they provided, an experience for everyone for not $1 more than your ticket. And, as a business owner, like, let's forget how wealthy they are. Let's look at this from a business owner's perspective. You put $1 billion into something and you don't charge a nickel extra for it. But Bricky, what about the lightsabers at Olga's Cantina? And what about droid builders? Okay, if you wanted the ball and you wanted to go and to Savvy's workshop and make a lightsaber, or if you wanted to go into Olga's and get a fancy beverage and drink out of a $60 non-alcoholic cocktail, you could do that, but you didn't have to. And I think that's why they wouldn't do such a thing. Tony Mendez, could you imagine having a train car to yourself? Yes, Tony. Do you think me, King El Lunatico, the guy who has this Ferris wheel behind him to look like Disneyland Jesus, can I imagine having a train car to myself? Absolutely I can. And I need it. I need it. One time, and it's captured on video, you can see it over on the channel, I have a video of me where the cast member said, oh, would you like the back of the monorail to yourself? And I had one pass on the monorail, and I had the whole rear car to myself. Magic. Magic. We are celebrating. We are celebrating. The Disneyland is back, baby. We are back. Cameron says, did you say the web slinger ride was already complete inside? It is done, Cameron. Done. It is already been in testing mode. It's there. It is ready to rip. Because think about it. They already had the building. A lot of the technology is built off-site. So it was really just a matter of gutting it, reforming it, and loading it back in. So yeah, it's an unusual thing where, the main attraction of the land would be done before, say, the restaurants or some of the outer facades. But I have to say, with the Avengers Campus, if you guys want to talk about it, I'll talk about it, okay? Twist my arm. I'm very excited to see the Doctor Strange's area. Like, I can't get a vibe on what that's going to look like. And in the one provided piece of concept art, you can see, like, sort of concrete, like eroded walls. I'm a big fan of the Disneyland rocks. So the Sanctorium is the part that I'm kind of going to rush to on opening day. I'm very interested to see how that goes. But yeah, Web Slingers is up. And if you think about it, that wasn't a very big building. So I think everybody needs to go into that with expectations that are, realistic for what we're going to get there. Ryan says it's a $40 Kyber crystal holder. Poured cup. You want to see a sick cup? This was made for the 50th anniversary. You can't really tell, but right here, there is a Club 33 glow-in-the-dark hit. So that comes on. It's a little hard to drink out of, though, because, your beak hits the head hole, and it's like, but you know these two. We'll play Disneyland right now, okay? You guys pretend like you're in the Haunted Mansion, and now move your heads. Oh, it's like they're following you, right? It's like they're following you everywhere you go. I'm finally in the Haunted Mansion. I think I dropped one of the drinksters. Oh, here it is. Don't run over it. Look at this little guy. All right. How do they distribute glasses for Web and Mickey Mania? Pre-packaged glasses. Oh man, you bring up a great point. Star Tours and things like that where you wear 3D glasses, especially when people believe that COVID is spread through the eye holes. Wow. Blew my mind with that one. I would have to say, remember those like cheap paper ones that you could get? But that's going to be expensive. Maybe the 3D rides are on hold for a while. You don't have to wear glasses with Web Slinger though, because it's the sheet of glass in front of you. Because Iger was like, look, I don't want to make a park where people have to constantly be putting stuff on them. So, you know, Rise, you don't need to wear goggles. You don't need to do the same thing with Smuggler's Run. So Web Slinger, when you get into that cart, it is believed that that glass in front of you does all the work. When I released the final video in my Marvel Phase 2 attraction, I have detected that your chair that you sit in, when it becomes a jetpack, there's a sheet of glass that I assume goes over the front of your eyes, which would then enhance your experience, giving you maybe like an Iron Man type like interface, or give you like live stats based on what's happening. So I think 3D glasses rides are going to be looked at as pretty antiquated pretty quickly. Atomic Child, what's up, bud? That was the one ride I couldn't do in February when I was still down. Can't wait to go back again. I don't know which ride you were talking about. Maybe Midway Mania? That's what you were talking about? This ride? I was on Midway Mania, if you were wondering what I was just doing. Oh, what is the soundtrack you got playing in the background? Jim Lopez. That's the sound of Main Street. This is the Main Street music loop. Like we're right there right now. That is the loop. You going to go to Florida for the new Mickey ride or wait till it comes to Disneyland? I will wait till it comes to Disneyland. I'm not excited to get on an airplane right now. And yeah, we'll wait till we get it here. And hopefully that will be faster than longer. Rob Anderson, what's up, my brother? How you doing? I think you might have heard the news. Disneyland is reopening. July 17th is when we'll get both of the parks. 23rd is when the hotels and spas open up. But July 9th, July 9th, I am hard in on Salt and Straw. I will be taking a trip to downtown Disney Shopping District. You better believe it, I'll be there. Cannot wait. I can't read this name because all the words mix Steve Pants. Pretty crazy that we could go to Universal Orlando right now if we wanted. Ha ha ha. Yeah, well, you know, when you've got a subpar product, you don't really worry too much about all the details, or they know the people that go there are crazy and they're not worried about their safety. Okay, let's do this. I'd love for you to tell me in the chat. I've told you 2 attractions that I feel comfortable riding. I'm going to get on the railroad. I'm going to ride the Mark Twain. Hit me up right now in the chat. What are you willing to ride on opening day? I would love to hear what you're going to get on. Me and my friend Nikki, we're going to be at Salt and Straw together. Well, not together. I mean, if I see her in line, I'll be like, hey, you're here and I'm here. Timmy574 says, do you think the special Star Wars event night will be canceled? Bro, Tammy. You're not a Timmy, you're a Tammy. I apologize. There's a big difference there in that one letter. Tammy. Once this video is posted, scrub back and you will see the moment that I realized that my tickets were still valid for the Star Wars night. I blew up inside my brain hole because I hadn't even considered. I just well, that's not happening. Ain't we got Disney? And it's happening. And I got tickets too, Tammy. I will see you there, young Padawan. I cannot wait. Rob Anderson says, is Disneyland Uber going to make a comeback? Dude, I have so much Disneyland content planned. I also have a way to try to keep Disneyland for Designers still going every Wednesday, because I realized that I was doing it every Wednesday because nobody could get in the park, but a lot of people like you live very far from the park. So that might be my moral obligation to try to keep that going if the audience can support it. So lots of Disney. In fact, I'll tell you guys, I was talking to a streaming company today about possibly being equipped with the gear where, like IRL, like my viewpoint, I could possibly stream the entire first day of Disneyland live on like Twitch. And now, ironically, we were just talking about that today. They're like, well, we have this equipment if you ever want to use it. And I was like, what about if I stream the opening day of Disneyland? And then today we find out that it's going to be July 17th. Winning. All right. Oh, okay. Here we go. We got some in here. Victor says Jungle Cruise. That's a good social distant pick, Victor. I like that. That is a good social pick. I like that. Atomic Child says Pirates right away. Ooh. Ooh, man. So many droplets when everybody's going, wee! But hey, whatever. You got to die sometime. It's worth it. Jim says, my daughter says Soaring. Oh, man, I love Soaring. Soaring over the world, I wouldn't risk my health. But soaring over California, I think your daughter's a genius. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical to do the movie theater type rides, but let's say that Soaring had the middle row closed, so you're either on the bottom row or the top row. One, that would eliminate a lot of feet in your face. But Soarin' is such an emotional ride. God, I love it so much. Maya D says, I don't want to go back, ha ha ha, but it makes me happy to think it's open. You know what? Maya, you're absolutely right. Like, if I don't get a reservation on opening day, and I think that you're quite smart for being skeptical, because I think a lot of us are jumping the gun and letting our emotions get ahead of us. I don't think you're crazy for saying that. And if I don't get a reservation for the opening days, it will just literally make me happy to know somebody is enjoying the park and that it's open. And I posted over on my Instagram that I was so pumped. Sorry about that if that was loud for you guys. I was so pumped that when the China opened back up first, just knowing that there was a park open somewhere in the world and people were enjoying the magic, just that brings me happiness. Rihanna says, Rise of the Resistance since I've never been. Oh, it's so great. It is so great. Rise of the Resistance is like its own category, right? Like it's so different than any attraction they've ever made. It has its own proprietary way that you get on there, the boarding pass system, which I think we'll see them implement that a lot with the new social distance version of Disneyland. But Rise of the Resistance is just on a level of a whole different thing. Like it's probably, I've said this before, but it bears repeating. It's probably like when people rode Pirates for the first time, right? Because there was the Tiki Room, which was like, whoa, this is cool. But Pirates was that first big, immersive, animated thrill attraction. And when people rode Pirates, they're probably like, that's different than everything else here. And that's the future. And you'd be right if you said that. And I think Rise is that once in a generation moment where you're like, that's the new bar. That's the new e-ticket plus. So Maya, I don't bust you at all for waiting a little bit. I think that's actually smart. But I'm gonna go. Not gonna do any indoor rides. Not gonna do any indoor dining. I just got to get inside the park. I got to feel the magic all around me. I'm sorry, that was Rihanna that said that. Ryan says, I will legit ride everything with my N95 mask on, except Small World, which I'll never ride because it's my least favorite. Bro, you don't like Small World? With everything that's going on in the world right now, you're going to talk smack about world peace? Every doll inside Small World is the exact same figure. The only thing different is the color they paint them. But the heart and soul is the same. Small World forever. That is just crazy talk, Ryan. You're a crazy man. Tony Mendez says Haunted Mansion, but no more filling up all the dead spaces. Oh, yeah. I think they won't make you go to the dead center of the room. Move away from the walls. I don't think that will be happening anymore. You got that one right. And Tony wants his own Doom buggy. You bring up a good thought, Tony. Single rider line? Is that done? Do we no longer need to fill up every space? Was the one blessing of being solo in this world is that you got faster Disneyland ride times? And has now that been taken from you if you happen to be single and a rider? Oh, we've lost so much. Tim says, I'd stick to the trains. Thunder Mountain, Disneyland Railroad. Honestly, can't wait to chill in the Tiki Room again. Would I tiki? Would I tiki? I don't know. It's like a movie theater, small room. People like to take food in there. No more eating in the Tiki Room, guys. We can't have the particles being passed around. Just can't do it. Even though I was in the shower. Paging Mr. Morrow says, Soaring Over California is fantastic, way better. Oh, absolutely, Mr. Morrow. Absolutely. It's amazing. Jamie retracted a message, so we only know what she must have said. It was probably horrible. Atomic Child says, will employees wearing masks ruin the magic at all? The mask is going to be weird. There's no two ways about it. I mean, everything that Disneyland stands for, the mask kind of goes against, right? So, you're not going to be able to see people smile. It's harder to communicate with people. The mask is going to be, it's going to be weird. There's no doubt about it. I think, though, this is the new normal, and we'll just have to, make new memories and hope that all this is temporary and that times will pass and we'll get somewhere we want to. I think there might be some talk on politics, how this all came about. We'll go ahead and skip that and just have fun. By all means, keep having that conversation. I'm not trying to censor anybody. That's not my style. But I just, I don't want to get into all that because the politics have been killing me lately. And I just want to think happy Disneyland thoughts. My name is Ray New. And I've never been in the Tiki Room. Huh. I thought it was Rainier. Ray New. You got to get in that Tiki Room whenever you feel safe. It's amazing. In fact, the artist, what's his name? Not Benicio, the other Del Toro. The director. Should know his name. He has a rain room like the Tiki Room in his house because he grew up in Southern California, big Disneyland fan, and he built a room in his house that has all the same effects as when the Tiki Room rains. And that's where he goes in his basement with the rain playing and the lightning and the windows that you can look out and see that it's raining. And that gets him into the mindset to write things like Pan's Labyrinth. I can remember his movie, but I can't remember his name. It's just out there. Soaring Over the World Greater Than California. Ryan, why are you starting so much trouble in here today? You don't like Small World? You don't like Soaring Over California? Gilmore. Yeah, you knew that, though. Appreciate you having my back. Even though your character is suspect, my friend. Suspect. Oh, now everybody's a member of CAN, right? Oh, Guillermo del Toro. Well, he has a rain room based off of the Tiki Room. And that is like, hey, Ranu. I'm horrible at pronouncing things. Just give me a pass. It's not meant out of anger. I'm trying to be a citizen of Disneyland. I have a limited capacity. I'm doing the best that I can here. This is Casey Jr. all day long. I think I can. Yeah, maybe I can. But Ryan says he does love Soarin' in all forms. Okay. But you prefer the world. I get it. If California's not your thing, I could understand that. We could let it slide. We could still be buds. We could still be friends. So I'm seeing a lot of your different rides. I want to know over in the chat, next question. Are you eager? Is anybody here eager to eat indoors? Do you feel comfortable enough to go to Disneyland, mask off? I mean, the wait staff and everybody in the restaurant will still be masked. But do you feel comfortable going into a Disney restaurant, taking your mask off, and having a meal indoors? Because I plan on taking full advantage of patio seating for quite some time. Atomic Child says, are they going to cut way back on food carts? No, I think food carts will be way up because probably some of the indoor restaurants won't be open, and they will go harder on the idea of quick service serving food to people outdoors. So I would think that, I don't know if we'll get like a, wine festival. I don't know if they'll like pump food carts in, but I think they'll try to do as much. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see outdoor merch carts where you could shop outside, and not, I need a re-coffee. And therefore you wouldn't have to go indoor to shop. So I think you're going to see as much advantage taken as the outdoors as possible. Jamie says, why doesn't it mention the Disneyland Hotel? Is that already open? No, it is not open. It is interesting that they don't mention the Disneyland Hotel. I know that there is some construction that was going on. So maybe they're just going to knock all of that out at once. Maybe they'll just lean on the high-end hotel and the low-end hotel and keep the middle hotel closed because they're going to have such a limited capacity. So maybe it might be on pause. I know that one of the wings, I think the Frontier Tower was getting some renovations done, and I know they're going to build it's still a go for a Disneyland, a DVC club that will be back on Walnut Street. So maybe they're just going to keep that shut down and just go forward with construction. So they have high end, low end, and with, 20, 30, 40% of the audience there. I don't think you need all three hotels. So very good observation there. Tony says, you think they'll still give out free buttons? Well, not to me, they won't. So that's not even something I need to worry about. Reyna says the soundtrack of Soarin' will forever give me chills. So I have a Disneyland playlist. I know how long it takes to get from my driveway to Mickey and Friends, and I have it timed where there's songs I can kind of skip. But one of the songs that I have on there is the Soarin' soundtrack, and I have it timed just about the time that I go from the 6:05 to the 91. Normally somewhere in there it comes on, and just gliding in my car to that Soarin' soundtrack. Get me back in that park. Get me there so fast. Ryan says Pizza Planet, the Space Mountain patio, and eat. Oh yeah, it's right. Pizza Planet has that outdoor, like sort of mid-century modern cafe area, that diner area. That's a good one. He also says Tropical Hideaway. Tropical Hideaway is a great place to eat outdoors. I love that so much. Phone orders for sure. Heavy on the mobile phone order. The mobile order for food is crucial. Crucial that you just say, yes, I'm here now. Walk up, grab your ice cream cone from Gibson Girl, and then you are out. I love it so much. Hey Juan, what's up? He says, do you think they'll only have one AP pass available? Wow, that is a really forward-thinking question. Will they get rid of the tiered system and go to one pass, like the Flex Pass? I hope not. I love having the luxury, and it's a luxury, to have the pass that gets me into the park every single day. I go to the park at least once a week. I meet people from out of town there all the time. I have a crew of fellow guys that are, give or take, my age. And we go there and we have dinner and we do a lap around the park and we hang out, and it's like our club, right? Like me and the guys get together like once a month. We've been doing it over Zoom and hanging out and talking Disney, and everybody is, like a professional at some level at the park. So a reservation system only pass would really mess up my Disneyland lifestyle. I think that right now the park is, in a bad financial position, and getting rid of that revenue and getting everybody over on the same price point, I think that it's going to become a money thing. And I think they'll put them on pause while we're in this weird area. But I believe once we kind of feel like we're past that a little bit, that it will go back to a tiered system so they can get, me to pay $1,000+ a year, but they can get, somebody else to pay, $300 a year, and sort of hit all those price points that they need to keep the park full. So there's people there shopping and buying and spending money, but also to keep that revenue coming in. Atomic Child says, you may have said this, but what capacity can they run at? This is all a guess, educated guess, but I believe that they'll probably do, if we look at what they've done at the other parks. This almost sounds like the Muppet music right when it starts. I'm going to go back a second and listen. When it kicks in, I'll stop, and it sounds like the Muppet music, which gets me pumped. I would think that we're looking at about 20%, 30%. Estimated sold out is like 60,000. So just to do, 50 to 60,000. So to do easy monkey math while we're broadcasting, I think you're looking at about 20,000 people, and it'll slowly go up. They'll go from 20 to 25 to 30. Shanghai did the same thing. They slowly, went up another threshold of audience. But I think that's where it'll start, just because, they got to get the cast. They got to get the cast on board to understand how all this works. So there's a lot of training that's going to have to happen. And see, Muppet music kind of sounds a little bit sounds like it. Okay, let me see here. Tim says, not eager to eat inside. We will exist on Ronto wraps on an all-day rip. Oh, man, a Ronto wrap. That sounds so good. I love the Ronto wrap. I think that's probably the best eat in the Galaxy's Edge. Jamie says, I was thinking that the Disneyland Hotel might be undergoing construction too. Just wasn't sure. Yeah, for sure there is construction, and they're building a whole new tower there. I did a video about it when they first announced it, and it seems like the proposal got planned. It's going to be a vacation club tower that will, if you think about it right now, there's 3 different towers, and there's sort of an open spot. The 4th tower will go right in there. And then on the back side of it will be where they have the spa, because it's a vacation club hotel. So trying to get more premier vacationers out at the park. Let me see here. Victor says, I live 5 hours away, so I'm going to wait until October to make my way out there again and monitor how everything goes. Victor, I think that's a great plan. I think that monitoring it is going to be a safe and smart thing to do. If I didn't live down the street, I have that luxury of being 13 miles from 1313 Disneyland Way. I don't know that I would be so eager to go there, because if you're coming in from 5 hours out of town, you kind of want to do more than just walk around the park. Like, I'm kind of a bad guess because I just want to go there and walk around. I mean, I'll spend some money, but I think waiting it out is not the worst thing in the world to do. Let's see here. Tammy says, I always eat outside even if it's cold because I like the sights and sounds. I'll stick to doing that. Hey, I love just sitting on the Plaza Inn patio over on the Tomorrowland side and watching the rockets go by and just catching the sights and sounds. I love it so much. So I agree with you right there. That is a great plan. One that I always try to stick by. Unless it's like when it's summer and it's brutal and you need to recharge your batteries, I love to go to Storyteller Cafe. It's part of the Grand Californian. I always, if I'm taking people from out of town, start at DCA, give them a solid morning of DCA, Then you go to Storyteller Cafe. You go there around 2:30. Still the lunch menu, so it's affordable. Table service. So they wait on you at your table, which is crucial. You need someone to wait on you because this is about recharging your batteries. Ice cold air, really good iced tea with refills, and low traffic, quality bathrooms. So the Storyteller Cafe is where you recharge the batteries, you sit there with the family, you get everybody feeling good, and you go, okay, who's ready to go across the Esplanade to Disneyland? And then you're ready to rip that second part of your trip. That's how I like to do it. Let's see here. Tim says, I really think Hammer's idea of having passes with different amount of visits is logical. 20 visits, 50 visits, 100 visits, etc. Not stoked on it, but it makes sense if reservations go long term. I think the only problem with a pass that has number of visits associated to it. So let's say that I get the 100 visit tickets pass. So I can go, like let's say that that means I could go 2 times a week all year long. What happens when it gets to the end of the term and people are like gunning it to try to get those last days in? And then will people get upset that, well, we're blocked out, but you still owe me 12 more visits? If this coronavirus shit, whoops, sorry, I try not to swear with my Disney content. If this coronavirus stuff ruins my annual pass of everyday access to the park, I am not going to be happy. Not be happy. Rena, Smoke Jumpers Grill. But what do you think they'll do to that condiment station? Oh, why did you have to bring that up? We're going to lose the condiment station? The condiment station is possibly the number one reason why you eat there. Because burger's good, chicken sandwich is good. But being able to play Subway sandwich artist and make it the way that you want to make it, bro, don't get me started. That is the reason why you go there. That's a dream crusher. Do you think Disney will ever sell front of the line passes like Universal does instead of having fast passes? I don't think so. I think that goes against their company ethos of creating magic, creating a great experience for everybody, and not treating people differently because of how much money they have. They do have that if you're extremely wealthy, and it's a private tour, and it's an amazing experience, something I'll never forget, but it's insanely expensive. So there is that for the select few that have the money or the means or safety because they're a celebrity or, a political official or somebody that needs that extra TLC. But I don't see them doing that, Tammy, and I really hope they don't ever, because it's pretty tacky. Let's see here. Ryan's agreeing with the idea for the next 8-12 next 8-12 months, a pass, got it out, to where you could go X amount of times. Not the worst idea. Hopefully I would get honored with the highest moment. I mean, Disney owes me 100 days on my pass right now, so we'll see what happens. But I'm sure they'll do something fair. Has construction continued? No, it hasn't. We talked about that earlier. All the major projects have been put on pause. There's been like a little bit of light construction, but the hardcore stuff has been put on pause as much as I know. Brandon says, have they announced details on how things will operate? They've only said the dates, Brandon, which is July 9th. Downtown Disney opens July 17th, the official day of the 65th anniversary. Disneyland and DCA will reopen. And then on the 23rd, the resorts will open. No mention of the Disneyland Hotel, just the Grand Californian and the Paradise Pier Hotel. They did say that you'll have to get reservations because it's a limited access. So that will be the next big announcement on how the reservations will work. Tim says, hopefully reservations will be done by the fall. I hope so too. Chris Glass, what's up, my homie? How you doing, bud? Can't wait to get back out there with you. Chris Glass is one of my friends that I did opening day of Rise of the Resistance with. We stood in the rain. We waited all night for absolutely nothing. But when we got assigned that sweet Boarding group 44. We knew. May the fours be with us. And we crushed it. What an amazing day at the park. Amazing day. I think Avengers Campus will be delayed until at least Christmas season. Any thoughts? We talked about this earlier in the stream. I think that we will for sure be looking at Avengers Campus pushed off to whatever normal looks like. I think opening up a new land when you've got limited capacity and you're not selling as many tickets, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think that will be pushed off for sure. Atomic Child says, what a mess to fix all those reservations they already had. I can't imagine dealing with all of that. Think about the amount of Zoom calls that Disney park officials have had at every tier, every level. What do we do with the food that we've ordered? What do we do with the merch that we have coming? Gavin said this today. They said this in Florida. The president said this, so let's ignore it. Like, imagine the chess game of all of the data coming in and trying to figure out how to get this back open. I mean, the logistical nightmare of closing down a Disneyland. You know, they try to keep all their employees as long as they could. They were more than generous, but now people are furloughed. So they got to call people and be like, yo, you coming back? We're back open. Like, just a logistical nightmare from every possible direction. So whatever they do, I'm going to try to be very positive about it and support it, because I own a very small business and this has all been insane. This is bonkers times a million. I don't even know how they're doing it. So props to them for getting it back together this fast. Atomic Child says, boarding group 2, our second day was so crazy. Boarding group 2 is not even like fun, right? Like, that's just, where's the struggle? Okay. To really be in the resistance, you got to fight for it. You got to fight for democracy. So boarding group 2 is just like, you might as well be first order. There, I said it. How you like those space apples? Yeah, I would start assuming that they called their employees already. I mean, but they probably didn't start calling employees till today because they didn't want this to get out. Because right now everything's a day by day. I mean, this could all change. Hopefully this happens. But it could slide or move around. I mean, we're all living in a day-to-day basis. So I bet the employees are getting called today. But if you do it ahead of time, then there's way too many people that know stuff. And they probably wanted to make sure that everything was checked off before they went public. So let's do this. If there's any other questions, drop them. And then maybe we part ways on our celebration. I don't want to leave any hanging questions, but I felt like we've covered a lot of this. When the next deets come out, I'll go live and we'll break down how the boarding pass system works and any sort of strategy that could be implemented to make that happen. But I think today is such a shocker. It's so surprising that it happened like this. Tony Mendez says, let's talk shutting it down. Oh, my favorite topic. I will. You think you'll go? You think you'll get to on opening day? My goal for opening day is to be there as much as humanly possible. If I can be there from opening, rope drop, till you got to go home, Bricky, I will be there as long as they let me. That is my opening day pledge. But I might not get a reservation. I might get lucky and get a cast member preview or an annual pass holder preview, which would mean that then I wouldn't go on opening day to leave that space for somebody else and not to be too stingy. But I want to go there and get as much park as possible on opening day. I want to walk around. I want to feel the sights and the sounds. I just want to be someplace where people are happy. Steve Johns, will they make us use reusable straws? This guy really? Really? We have all this going on and he wants to complain about reusable straws? Steve Johns, I love you. I love you because you can always find You're Luke Skywalker. You know that? Here's the Death Star. Here's all the problems in the world is the Death Star. And you're like, but what about disposable straws, Bricky? How do you do it? It is such a talent. How do you do it? Oswaldo says, time to clock out of work. Thanks for making the past hour go by quickly. Oh, bro, you're working on Max while I was talking to you? I need to get that RAM. I will be reaching out to you. I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming. I need to get that RAM. I need RAM bad. Live stream opening day. Talked about that earlier. There's a potential that I might be doing some stuff opening day to try to take as many people there with me. So yeah, don't even worry about it. Lots of content coming from me. I was just laying low when there was nothing to talk about. I didn't want to keep hyping up like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like doing the podcast once a week, taking people to the park once a week. That was my big goal. But as soon as this got announced, I'm like, I got to go live. Yo, AS, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. AS says, thanks for the weekly episodes. Enjoy some Trenta cold brews on opening days on us. You know I'm going to Trenta. You know I'm going to cold brew. Thank you very much. It has been my honor to do the podcast weekly. You know, a lot of people have been like, thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this. And look, doing it and making people happy, it makes me so happy. But I'm being honest. I also needed to do that for me. It's been so rough not having this thing that I love so much. And it's such an outlet for me. And I have, you know, what really made Disneyland so much more special to me was last year I made a lot of friends through Disneyland. You know, architects and fellow artists and, you know, people that have had a long history there of being part of the club and having a community that I belong to inside of that park. It makes it so much more special. It makes it feel like a real city because that's where those friendships live. So being able to take people to the park weekly with Disneyland for Designers has just been an insane honor. And I'm going to try to figure out a way where the audience can help me still do that every week because I realize a lot of you can't go to Disneyland. You live far away. You live in another country. So I'm going to try hard to keep that torch still going because it's just been so much fun. And I love talking about it. I love taking people there. I love taking people on a tour. Jamie says, yeah, thanks for the last hour of work. Hey, no problem. I love doing all this. Oswaldo says, let me know about the RAM. A little behind the scenes, a little BTS there. Daddy needs RAM. Bricky Mouse needs some RAM. Got to get it. Do you have the Mickey shaped RAM? That's what I need for my computer. Chase says, I discovered your channel from your Avengers e-ticket videos. I absolutely loved it. Keep up with them. Thank you. I was so disappointed with those videos. I was hoping that more people would watch them. I would hope they would get more comments. They've been a lot of work to make. But they're kind of like making a model, you know, like taking these pieces, putting it all together. Rob. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it, man. I know you're already COT. You're already paying for the content. So thank you for the tip. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. It does mean a lot to me. There's one more Avengers video coming that I'm working on right now. In fact, right now is supposed to be doing the audio bed for it. So look out for that. And then once the last one's up, I'm actually going to string them all together with an ending. So somebody who hasn't seen one of the individual chapters can just sit back and watch the whole thing and long play. And then after that, I have a whole list of little documentaries that I want to make about Disneyland. When the park gets back open, I want to get back into shooting and taking people there with me and, not shooting, but, you know, videos and, keep the magic going. So I'm pumped to do that. I'm glad that you've appreciated those because it just seemed like nobody cared. Oh no, the playlist is over. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're not giving up on it. Steve John says Disney Uber on opening day. Let's see. Maybe. Might be a little bit hard with the mask on. And I might also want to just enjoy it. But I will for sure be doing... If I'm there, I'm going live. I got to take people with me. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Disney Lost Boys and Girls. What an awesome screen name. We're excited to be returning to the parks and continue to spread the magic at the parks again. I am right there with you. I cannot wait to get back into the magic. Cannot wait. Tim says, do they ban personal... the Personal Mr. fans? Ooh. That's a lot of droplets. Yeah. the blast yourself in the face with the squirt gun fan, R.I.P. They're just going to throw all of those in the lagoon next to the submarines. Like, this is stuff we don't need anymore. Oh, man. Okay, so let's do this. Let's wrap up. Thank you guys so much for those super chats at the end. I really, really appreciate it. All of this is like a lot of work, and viewer support, listener support is how I can keep justifying it and making it happen. So I really, really do appreciate that. All right, here's what's going to happen. Disneyland for Designers is still going to be weekly. When there's the next big press release, I will go live and we'll do a live stream and we'll break down the news together. And, you know, I don't want to be flooding your content with, you know, speculation. Like, I'm going to do a channel based on hard facts. So when we have hard facts, I'll go live as fast as possible and we'll be able to talk about it. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff over on Twitch with Adventures in Design, which is my day job, but I'm keeping my YouTube channel as Disneyland content specifically. So if you see me over here streaming, you can come over here and we can hang out and we can talk Disneyland. And I got a lot of fun things planned. I'm going to shoot some footage. I want to do some tours over here for people that can't go. So thank you so much for being a part of all this. I appreciate it so much. All of you, stay safe, stay strong. Go listen to Disneyland for Designers. And thank you so much for believing in the magic. It is real. We haven't stopped believing. It's out there. You just have to look for it. Bye, everybody.